This video is a review of exponential transformations. Remember, an exponential function in standard form is y equals a times b raised to the x minus h plus k. Now, each of these letters represents something to our function, and so let's review what those things mean. So remember, b to the x. This is not a transformation. Okay, remember that. B to the x is not a transformation. It's a parent function. It lets us know where we're starting from. Okay, what is the original equation before we started transforming it? B stands for base. And the base can be a growth or the base can be a decay, but that is not a transformation. Remember, A represents several things. So one thing it can represent is if it's negative, it's a reflection. Okay, we're reflecting over that x-axis. If A is greater than 1, it's a stretch. If A is less than 1, it's a shrink. And again, that negative means it's a reflection. Then we have an h value. This h value means two things. Remember, we're going left if it's positive, because we always do the opposite. And if it's right, that means we saw something negative. Your k value is the next transformation. Remember, this k value is your asymptote. That invisible line our graph won't cross. It's going up if it's positive and down if it's negative. Let's look at some examples here. Using these notes up top, let's practice some examples. So I've written out a handful of examples. I would pause your video to copy them down, maybe try them yourself before I go through and work out the answers for you. Okay? All right, so let's go through these transformations. Let's review them. 1/2 to the x, that's our parent function. It's not a transformation. We highlight it so we can see the other transformations that are happening. This is greater than 1, so this is a stretch. Then we have then we have -2, which is to the right, 2. Then we have +2, which is up 2. And those are your transformations. Starting with this function, we transformed it these 3 ways. Let's look at the next one. Again, let's identify our parent function. Where are we starting from? So starting from 2 to the x, we have these transformations going on. The first thing we see is the negative. The negative represents a reflection. Then we see the 4. The 4 is a stretch. So there's 2 different transformations happening there. They're all in that A spot, but remember, the negative is a reflection. That 4 is a stretch. We're going to the right again. And this one right here, we're going down. Okay? So you have to be able to identify the transformations if I give you the equation. The other type of example is being able to write the equation, giving a description. So we're given a parent function, so I'm going to write that in pencil. and they want us to name it g of x, a new function, with the transformations of a shrink 1/3. A shrink 1/3 is an a value. That's 1/3. That makes this our parent function, remember, so we're multiplying by that. Left 3, so if we're going left, remember we're adding. And then up 4, we'll move down the same line, up 4. So those are the transformations that were written, and I know how to write the equation for it. Same thing in number 4. We're given the parent function 1/4 to the x. They want us to name it g of x. So let's write this equation. So we have a reflection and a stretch of 2. A reflection and a stretch of 2. Reflection is the negative. That's the stretch of 2. This is our parent function. Then it says right 5 and down 3. If you need more examples or help with exponential transformations, please refer to the blog and previous videos on transformations.